All right, Kamaru Usman proved why he's still regarded as the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet. He went out there and he beat a very game Colby Covington. Colby came into this one, he was a little tentative to start. You know, some may say intimidated, but no, that's not the correct word. That's not giving Colby Covington his due. He's a tremendous fighter, he's very brave. He sold the fight, by the way, incredibly at the press conference. But he got off to a little bit of a slow start. It was a little bit tentative. Now I'm going to get into that. I'm going to give you all my thoughts. I'm going to tell you who I think should be next. Let's get into it. All right. I got to say, first of all, Colby Covington is an expert. On the microphone, I mean, at that press conference, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, you know, the suit, I would not be seen dead in that suit, but still, it looked the part. You know, he looked amazing. You want to do that, you know. And at the press conference, Madison Square Garden, he went out there and he sold the shit out of that fight. I mean, nobody who ever saw that press conference did not want to see that fight. And by the way, give Kamaru Usman his credit as well, because, you know, it takes two to tango. Kamaru's style is definitely a lot more cooler. You know, he doesn't really get hot-headed. He's in control of his emotions. By the way, that's why he's the champ. But I thought it was great, top to bottom. I thought Colby Covington lived up to the sold the shit out of that fight, and he lived up to the hype. He backed up his words. Now, when the fight started, Colby definitely took his time. You know, and you know, that's what cost him the fight, to be honest. And I'm not saying Kamaru would have beaten him, but Colby was, you know, it was a slow start. And when I was watching it, I was like, ooh, Colby's a little intimidated. Because the thing is, you know, when you're fighting somebody that's knocked you out cold, that leaves a lasting impression, it does. And to step back into a ring with somebody that's done that takes a lot of balls, takes a lot of courage. So respect to Colby for doing that. Of course, you know, with great risk comes great reward. He wants to be the champion of the world. He's got to go through Kamaru. No other choice. So that's why I think he was a little out of range. And I think, to be honest, a lot of them were a little bit out of range to start. Both of them were throwing and they were kind of hitting fresh air, you know. But as we know, 4-ounce gloves on. One shot, boom, you're done. Colby's game plan was definitely to use some more wrestling in this. And there's a reason why Kamaru Usman has 100% takedown defense. I mean, oh my God. How he was able to stop every one of those takedowns. His scrambling is unbelievable. His hips are so strong. Technically, he's perfect. There was one shot where Colby hit a blast double. And Kamaru went with it and he just rolled over his back. I don't know the wrestling term. I'm sure my son Callum could tell me and make a fool out of me. But he did it perfectly and ended up on top. I mean, his takedown defense was amazing. Boxing, as we know, his boxing is always improving and he looked really, really good. A great fight. And Colby came on strong in rounds 4 and 5, you know. Was really emptying the tank, trying to get the knockout, trying to get the finish. I think Colby knew. I think he knew by rounds 4 and 5 he was down on the scorecards. Each round was close, but the first 3, I had them for Kamaru Usman. Round 4, I gave to Colby. Round 5, really close. But Colby definitely brought the heat in the later rounds. And who knows, maybe that was his strategy. Maybe his strategy was to try and, you know, reserve his energy, you know, reserve the gas tank, let Kamaru get a little bit tired, then try and expose him and get him tired, should I say, and then look for the knockout in the later rounds, you know, because sometimes that's a good idea. Take your time, let them get confident, let them get overconfident, let them think you're scared and they start looking for the knockout themselves, and then when they get a bit tired, you go for it. So maybe that was the plan. Whatever the plan was, it didn't work, did it? Didn't work. Kamaru's the man. Kamaru remains the champion, and I got to say, it was beautiful to see the respect afterwards, because going into that, they hated one another, you know. But when you've shared that amount of time in the octagon with somebody, you have to respect them. There's like an unspoken bond, you know. They'll always be attached to one another. They had 2 fantastic fights, 2 pretty even fights as well, even though Kamaru won them both. It's not like he destroyed him. Yeah, he knocked him out in the first one and he won by decision in the second one, and he was clearly the victor. But it's not like, you know, he demolished him from start to finish.